A fiddler on the roof. Sounds crazy, you know? But in our little village of Anatevka, well, you might say, every one of us is a fiddler on the roof, trying to scratch out a pleasant, simple tune without breaking his neck. It isn't easy. Now you may ask, why do we stay up there if it's so dangerous? Well, we stay because Anatevka is our home. And how do we keep our balance? Well, that I can tell you in one word. Tradition! Kept our balance for many, many years. Here in Anatevka, we have traditions for everything. How to eat, how to sleep, how to wear clothes. For instance, we always keep our heads covered, and we always wear a little prayer shawl. This shows our constant devotion to God. Now you may ask, how did this tradition start? Well, I'll tell you. Well, actually, I don't know. But it is a tradition. And because of our traditions, everyone knows who he is and what God expects him to do.
Day and night must scramble for a living, feed a wife and children, say his daily prayers, and who has the right, as master of the house, to have the final word at home? The Papa, tradition, the Papa, tradition.
Must know the way to make the proper home, a quiet home, a kosher home. Who must raise a family and run a home, so Papa's free to read the holy book. The mama,
Tradition,
the mama,
tradition. At 3 I started Hebrew school, at 10 I learned a trade. I hear they picked a bride for me, I hope she's pretty. The sons, tradition, the sons, tradition.
and who does Mama teach to mend and tend and fix, preparing me to marry whoever Papa picks.
The daughters, tradition,
The
daughters, tradition. Day and night, my
As who does Mama teach
wife and
to
children,
mend and tend and fix, preparing me to marry whoever Papa picks.
And in the circle of our village, we've always had our special types. For instance, Yenta, the matchmaker.
Avram! I have a perfect match for your son, a wonderful girl.
Who is it?
Rachel, the shoemaker's daughter.
Rachel? But she can hardly see. She's almost blind.
Tell the truth, Avram. Is your son so much to look at? The way she sees, and the way he looks. It's a perfect match.
And Nahum, the beggar.
Where's Rachel? Here you go. One quick.
should I suffer?
And most important, our beloved Rabbi.
Rabbi, can I ask you a question?
Certainly, my son.
Is there a proper blessing for the Tsar?
A blessing for the Tsar? Of course! May God bless and keep the Tsar far away from us! And then there are others in our village. They make a much bigger circle. His Honor the Constable, His Honor the Priest, and His Honor many others. We don't bother them. And so far, they don't bother us. And among ourselves, we get along perfectly well. Well, now, of course, there was that one time when he sold him a horse, and he delivered a mule. But, you know, that's all settled now. Now we live in simple peace and harmony, and it was a horse. Tradition. Without our traditions, our lives would be as shaky as, well, as a fiddler on the roof.
Mama, where should we put these? Put them on my head! By the stove, foolish girl. Where's Hava?
She's in the barn, milking.
Won't Papa be home?
It's almost Sabbath and he worries a lot about when he'll be home. All day long riding on the top of his wagon like a horse.
Mama, you know Papa works hard.
His horse works harder! And you don't have to defend your papa to me. I know him longer than you. He could drive a person crazy. Still only live and be well. Sprinter, bring me more potatoes. Papa, did you finish the milking?
Yes, Mama.
You are reading again? Why does a girl have to read? Will I get her a better husband? Here. Mama, Yente's coming. She's walking down the road.
I wonder if she's finally found a match for you, Zeidel.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Why does she have to come now? It's almost Sabbath.
Go finish up in the barn. I want to talk to Yenta alone.
May I go and play?
You have feet. Go.
May I go too?
Go too.
But Mama, the men she finds. The last one was so old and he was bald. He had no hair.
A poor girl without a dowry can't be so particular. You want hair? Marry a monkey.
After all, Mama, I'm not yet 20 years old and...
Do you have to boast about your age and tempt the evil eye? Inside.
Golden darling! I just had to see you because I have such news for you. And not just every day in the week news. No. Once in a lifetime news. Where are your daughters? Outside, no. Good. Such diamonds, such jewels. You will see, Golda. I will find every one of them a husband. But you shouldn't be so picky. Even the worst husband, God forbid, is better than no husband, God forbid. And who should know better than me? Ever since my husband died, I've been a poor widow. Alone. Nobody to talk to. Nothing to say to anyone. It's no life. All I do at night is think of him. And even thinking of him gives me no pleasure. Because, you know as well as I, he was not much of a person. Never made a living. Everything he touched turned to mud. But, better than nothing.
Good evening. Is Seidel in the house?
Yes, but she's busy. You can come back later.
There's something I'd like to tell her.
Later!
Oh, Model, I thought I heard you.
Finish what you were doing. I said later.
All right.
What is that poor little Taylor model with title?
Who knows? They've been friends since they were babies together. They talk, they play.
They play? What do they play?
Who knows? They're just children.
From such children come other children.
Michael?
Mhm.
No, he's a nothing. Yenta, you said...
Oh, children. Children. They are your blessing in your old age. But my Aaron couldn't give me children. Believe me, he was as good as gold. Never raised his voice to me. But other than that, he was not much of a man, so what good is it if he never raised his voice? But what's the use of complaining? Other women enjoy complaining, but not Yenta. Not every woman in the world can be a Yenta. Well, I must prepare my poor Sabbath dinner, so goodbye, Golda. It was a pleasure talking
Yenta!
our hearts out to each other.
You said you had news.
Oh, I'm losing my head! One day we'll fall off, fall together on a horse, we'll kick it in the mud. Goodbye, Yenta! Oh, of course, the news. Oh, it's about Laser Wolf, the butcher. A good man, a fine man. And I don't have to tell you that he's well off. But he's lonely, poor man. You understand? Of course you do. To make it short, out of the whole town, he's cast his eye on Saito.
My Zeitel?
No, the Tsar's Saito. Yes, of course you're Saito!
Such a match for my Zeitel. But Tevye wants a learned man. He doesn't like laser.
Oh, listen to me, Golda. Send Tevye to him. Don't tell him what it's about. Just let Laser discuss himself. He'll win him over. He's a good man. A wealthy man. True? True. So, you tell me how it went. And you don't have to thank me, Golda. Because aside from my fee, which anyway, Laser will pay, it gives me great satisfaction to make people happy. What better satisfaction is there? So goodbye, Golda, and you're welcome.
Mama, what did she want?
When I want you to know, I'll tell you. Now finish the washing.
I wonder if Yenta's found a good husband for you.
I'm not anxious for Yenta to find me a husband.
Not unless it's Model the tailor.
I didn't ask you.
Saito, you're the oldest. They have to make a match for you before they can make one for me.
Then after her, one for me.
So if Yenta brings...
Oh, Yenta.
Well, somebody has to arrange the matches. Young people can't decide these things themselves. I mean, she might bring someone interesting and well off and important. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Matchmaker, matchmaker, look through your book and make me a perfect match. Matchmaker, matchmaker, I'll bring the veil, you bring the groom, slender and pale. Bring me a ring, for I'm longing to be the envy of all I see. For Papa, make him a scholar. For Mama, make him rich as a king. For me, well, I wouldn't holler
you had your eye on the rabbi's son.
Well, why not? We only have one rabbi and he only has one son. Why shouldn't I want the best?
Because you're a girl from a poor family, and whatever Ginta brings, you'll take. Right? Of course, right! Huddle, oh huddle, have I made a match for you? He's handsome, he's young, he's sickly too, but he's a nice man, a good catch through. I promise you'll be happy, and even if you're not, there's more to life than that. Don't ask me what. Father, I found him, will you be a lucky bride? He's handsome, he's tall, the dish from side to side, but he's a nice man, a good catch, right? Right. You've heard he has a temper, he'll beat you every night, but only when he's sober. Da-ya-da-right. Did you think you'd get a prince? Well, I do the best I can. With no dowry, no money, no family background, be glad you've got a Matchmaker, matchmaker, you know that I'm still very young. Please, take your time. Up to this minute, I misunderstood that I could get stuck for good. Dear Yenta, see that he's gentle, remember, you were also a bride. It's not that I'm sentimental, it's just that I'm terrified. Matchmaker, matchmaker, plan me no plans, I'm in no rush. Maybe I've learned playing with matches, a girl can get bored. So bring me no ring, groom me no groom, find me no find, catch me no catch, unless he's a matchless
Today, I am a horse. Dear God, did you have to make my poor old horse lose his shoe just before the Sabbath? That wasn't nice. I know I complain too much about my horse. But you know, sometimes I think, when things are too quiet up there, you say to yourself, what kind of mischief can I pull on my friend Tevye?
You're finally here, my breadwinner.
I'll talk to you later.
Where's your horse?
He was invited to the blacksmith for the Sabbath.
Well, hurry up. The sun won't wait for you. I have something to say to you.
As the good book says, heal us, O Lord, and we shall be healed. Which in other words means, send us the cure. We've got the sickness already. Now, I'm not really complaining. After all, with your help, I am starving to death. You made many, many poor people. Now I realize, of course, it's no shame to be poor, but it's no great honor either. So what would have been so terrible if I had a small fortune? If I were a rich man, Yabba dibba 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 dum. All day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, wouldn't have to work hard. Yabba dibba 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 dum. If I were bitty bitty rich, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen, right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof and real wooden floors below. There would be one long staircase just going up, and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can. And each lark will land like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, yabba dibba 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 dum. All day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yabba dibba 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 dum. If I were a bitty bitty rich, I'd see my wife, my gold, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I'd see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Oh, what a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. The most important men in town will come to phone on me. They will ask me to advise them, like a Solomon the Wise. If you please, Reptevia, pardon me, Reptevia, posing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. Yada-dee-da-da, yada-da-da-da. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I like to sing in the synagogue and pray. Maybe have a seat on the eastern wall, and I discuss the holy books with the learned men 7 hours every day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, yabba dibba 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 dum. All day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yabba dibba 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 dum. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be who I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man?
There he is. Tevye, you forgot my order for the Sabbath.
That's Mordecai, a little incident with my horse.
Tevye, you didn't bring the rabbi's order.
I know, Reb Mandel.
Tevye,
Tevye, you forgot my order for the Sabbath.
This is bigger news than the plague at Odessa.
Talking about news. Terrible news in the outside world. Terrible.
What is it? What does it say?
In a village called Rahamka, all the Jews were evicted, forced to leave their homes.
For what reason?
It doesn't say. Maybe the Tsar wanted their land, maybe a plague?
May the Tsar have his own personal plague.
Amen. Why can't you bring us some good news?
I only read it. It was an edict from the authorities.
May the authorities start touching in places they can't reach.
Amen.
Why do you curse them? What good does your cursing do? You stand around and curse and chatter all day and don't do anything. You'll all chatter your way into the grave.
Excuse me? You're not from the village.
No.
Then where are you from?
Kiev. I was a student in the university there.
Aha, the university, is that where you learn to criticize your elders?
That's where I learned there's more to life than talk. You should know what's going on in the outside world.
Why should I break my head about the outside world? Let them break their own heads. He's right. As the good book says, if you spit in the air, it lands back on your face.
That's nonsense. You can't close your eyes to what's happening in the outside world.
He's right.
He's right. He's right. How can they both be right?
Well, you know what? You're also right. He's right, and he's still wet behind the ears. Good Sabbath, Tevye.
Good Sabbath, Tevye. Tevye, the rabbi's order, my cheese.
Of course. So you're from Kiev, Reb?
Perchik.
Perchik. So you're a newcomer here. As Abraham said, I am a stranger in a strange land.
Moses said that.
My apologies. As King David put it, I'm slow of speech and slow of tongue.
That was also Moses.
Well, for a man with a slow tongue, he sure talked a lot.
And the cheese, Tevye.
Here, have a piece.
No, thank you. I have no money and I'm not a beggar.
Please, it is a blessing for me to give.
Very well. For your sake.
Thank you. You know, it's no crime to be poor.
In this world, it's the rich who are the criminals. Someday their wealth will be ours.
That would be nice. If they would agree, I would agree.
And who'll make this miracle come to pass?
People. Ordinary people.
Like you?
Like me.
Nonsense.
And until your golden day comes, Red Perchik, well, how will you live?
By giving lessons to children. Do you have any children?
Well, 5 daughters.
5?
Daughters.
Girls should learn too. Girls are people.
He's a radical.
I would be willing to open their minds to great thoughts.
Well, what kinds of great thoughts?
Well, the Bible has many lessons for our times.
It's true. But I'm a very poor man. Food for lessons? Very good. Red Perchik, stay with us for the Sabbath. Now, of course, we don't eat like kings, but we don't starve either. As the good book says, if a poor man eats a chicken, one of them is sick.
Where does the good book say that?
Well, it doesn't exactly, but in there somewhere is something about a chicken. Good Sabbath.
Good Sabbath, Tevye.
Good Sabbath, children.
Good Sabbath, Papa! Good Sabbath, Papa. Good Sabbath, Papa. Good Sabbath, Papa.
Children, this is Perchik. Perchik, this is my oldest daughter.
Good Sabbath.
Good Sabbath.
You have a very pleasant daughter.
Perchik. I have 5 pleasant daughters. You see, this is mine, and 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 this, whoa! This is not mine. Perchik, this is model Cam's oil.
So, you did me a favor and came in.
This is also mine. Golda, this is Perchik from Kiev. He's a teacher. Would you all like to learn from him?
I really am a good teacher, a very good teacher.
I heard once the rabbi who must praise himself has a congregation of 1.
Your daughter has a quick and witty tongue.
Well, the wit she gets from me. As the good book
The
says,
good book can wait. Get washed.
the tongue she gets from her mother.
Montel, you're also reading with us? Of course. Another blessing. Zeitel, 2 more. Sprinza, Ilka, get washed.
Model can help.
Hava, go too. You, wash up at the well. Tevye, I have to talk to you.
Why should today be any different?
Tevye, I have to tell you.
I'm praying.
Laser Wolf wants to see you.
The butcher? About what?
I don't know, only that he says it's very important.
I don't know what can be important. I have nothing for him to slaughter.
After the Sabbath, see him and talk to him.
About what? You know, if he's thinking about buying my new milk cow, he can forget it.
Tevye, don't be an ox. A man sends an important message, at least talk to him.
What about? He's thinking about buying my new milk cow.
Talk to him.
All right, fine. After the Sabbath, I'll talk to him.
Model, Yenta was here.
I saw her.
If they agree on someone, there will be a match. And then it will be too late for us.
Don't worry, Saito. I found someone who will sell me his used sewing machine. So in a few weeks, I'll have saved up enough to buy it, and then your father will be impressed with me.
But Model, a few weeks may be too late.
But what else can we do?
You could ask my father for my hand. Tonight, now.
Why should he consider me now? I'm only a poor tailor.
And I'm only the daughter of a poor milkman. Just talk to him.
Saito, if your father says no, that's it. It's final. He'll yell at me.
Model,
I'm just a poor tailor.
even a poor tailor is entitled to some happiness.
That's true.
Will you talk to him? Will you talk to him?
All right. I'll talk to him.
Where is everyone? It's late. Where is everyone?
Ripto.
Come in, children. We're lighting the candles.
Ripto.
What is it, Model? Well, Model?
Good Sabbath, Ripto.
Good Sabbath. Come in, children. May the Lord protect
Yes, Laser Wolf, please, bring me a bottle of your best brandy. 2 glasses, please.
Your best brandy, Red Laser.
What's the occasion? Are you getting ready for a party?
A party? Maybe even a wedding.
A wedding? Wonderful, and I'd be happy to make the wedding merry, lead the dancing and so forth, provided you pay my little fee, of course.
Naturally, there would be no wedding without you or your fee.
Good evening, innkeeper.
Good evening.
We would like something to drink. Go sit down.
Vodka, schnapps.
Vodka.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Tevye. What are you doing here so early?
Well, he wants to buy my new milk cow. Good evening, Reblazer.
Brotevia. How you doing? Here, please, have a seat.
Thank you.
So, how goes it with you?
Well, how should it go?
You're right.
And yourself?
The same.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So, you must be wondering why. So, about your brother in America.
Yes. Well, if you're asking how he's doing, I believe he is doing well.
He write to you?
Well, not lately.
Then how do you know?
Well, if he was doing poorly, he would write.
Of course. So, Tevye, you must be wondering why I summoned you today.
Reblazer, I already know, and there's no point talking about it.
Why not?
Why, yes! Why should I get rid of her?
Well, you would have a few more without her.
Oh, I see. Today you want 1, tomorrow you may want 2.
2? I wouldn't mind 2. But what would I do with 2?
Well, the same you do with 1, I believe.
Tevye, you know, this is very important to me.
Why is it so important to you?
Well, frankly, Tevye, I'm lonesome.
Lonesome? What are you talking about?
You don't know?
Well, we're talking about my new milk cow, the one you want to buy from me.
Oh, milk cow! Oh, no, Tevye, I was talking about your daughter's idol.
My daughter's idol?
Yes. You see, I see her in my butcher shop every Thursday. She's made a good impression on me. I like her. And as for me, I'm well off. I have my own house, a store, even a servant. Listen, Tevye, why do we have to try and impress each other? Let's just shake hands and call it a match. You won't even need a dowry. Maybe something in your own purse as well.
Shame on you! Shame! What do you mean, my purse? My daughter's idol is not something I would sell for money.
All right. We won't talk about money. But the main thing is, Tevye, I like her. I'll take good care of her. What do you think?
What do I think? What do I think? Well, I never liked him. Why should I? You can have a decent conversation with him if you talk about kidneys and livers. On the other hand, not everyone has to be a scholar. No, if you're rich enough, which he is, no one will call you stupid. And with a butcher, my daughter will surely never know hunger. But he has a problem. He's much older than her. That's her problem. Oh, but she is younger. No, that's his problem. You know, I always thought of him as the butcher. But maybe I misjudged him. He's a good man. He likes her. I'll try to keep her happy. What do I think? It's a match.
It's a match! Well, thank you, Tevye. This is wonderful. Here, let's have a drink.
Why not? To you.
No, to you, my friend.
To the both of us.
To our agreements.
To our agreements. To our prosperity. To good health and happiness. And the most important, to life, l'chaim. L'chaim, to life. Here's to the father I've tried to be.
Here's to my bride to be.
Drink l'chaim, to life, l'chaim. L'chaim, to life. Life has a way of confusing us,
Blessing and bruising us.
Drink l'chaim, to life. God would like us to be joyful even when our hearts lie panting on the floor.
How much can we be joyful when there's really something to be joyful for?
To life, l'chaim.
To Saito, my daughter, my wife. It gives you something to think about,
Something to drink about.
Drink l'chaim to life. Red vodka. Yes, Laser Wolf. Drinks for everybody.
What's the occasion?
I'm taking myself a bride.
Who is it?
Tevye's oldest, Saito.
Mazel tov.
To Laser Wolf, the Tevye. To Zaito, your daughter.
My wife.
May all your futures be pleasant ones, now like our present ones. Drink l'chaim, to life, l'chaim. L'chaim, to life. It takes a wedding to make us say, let's live another day. Drink l'chaim, to life. We'll raise a glass and sip a drop of schnapps in honor of the great good luck that favored you. We know that when good fortune favors to such men it stands to reason, we deserve it too. To us and our good fortune, be happy, be healthy, long life. And if our good fortune never comes, here's to whatever comes. Drink l'chaim, just come alive.
Heaven bless you, both Nostrovia too. Your health and may we live together in peace. Zava Shastarovia, heaven bless you, both Nostrovia too. Your health and may we live together in peace. May you love be favored with the future of your choice. May you live to see 1,000 reasons to rejoice. Zava, heaven bless you, both us broken. Your health and may we live together in peace. Hey!
Watch your step.
Okay. You know, Tevye, I was thinking, since I married your daughter,
Of course.
does that mean I'm your papa?
No! You're not my papa. I'm your papa. Oh, I always wanted a son. Well, maybe one a little younger than myself.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What's the celebration?
Tevye is marrying off his oldest daughter, Zaito.
Ah, may I offer my congratulations, Tevye?
Oh, thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, Tevye, I have a piece of news that I think I should give to you, as a friend.
What is it?
And I'm giving you this news because I like you. You are a decent, honest person,
Thank you.
even if you are a Jewish dog.
Well, thank you, Your Honor. How often does a man get a compliment like that? Oh, and your news.
We've received orders that sometime soon this district is to have a bit of an unofficial demonstration.
A pogrom? Here?
No. Just an unofficial demonstration.
How unofficial is this unofficial demonstration?
It's nothing too serious. Just a little mischief. So that if an inspector comes through, he will see that we have done our duty. Personally, I do not see why there has to be this trouble between people. But I thought I could tell you, and you can tell the others.
Well, thank you, Your Honor. You are a good man, if I may say. It's too bad you're not the Jew.
That's what I like about you, Tevye. Always joking. And congratulations again for your daughter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Goodbye. Dear God, did you have to send me news like that on today of all days? Now I know we are your chosen people, but every once in a while, couldn't you pick someone else? Anyways, thank you for sending a husband for my Zaito.
Now, children, I will tell you a story from the Bible of Laban and Jacob, and then we will discuss it together, all right? Good. Now, Laban had two daughters, Leah and the beautiful Rachel, and Jacob loved the younger, Rachel, and asked him for her hand. Laban agreed if he would work for him for 7 years.
Was Laban a mean man?
He was an employer. Now, after 7 years, do you know what happened? Laban fooled Jacob and gave him his ugly daughter Leah instead. So in order to marry Rachel, Jacob was forced to work another 7 years. You see, children, the Bible clearly teaches us you must never trust an employer. Do you understand?
Yes, Perchik.
Yes, Pritchett.
Good. Now, Daniel...
Papa isn't up yet? No, Mama. Been enough lessons. We have to do Papa's work for today. How long can he sleep? He staggered home last night and fell into bed like a dead man. I couldn't get a word out of him. Go finish up in the barn and call me when Papa gets up.
was a very interesting lesson, Burchick.
You think so?
Yes. Although, I don't know that the rabbi would agree with your interpretation.
Oh, and neither, I suppose, would the rabbi's son?
My little sisters have big tongues.
And what do you know about him except that he is the rabbi's son? Would you be so interested if he were the shoemaker's son or the tinsmith's son?
At least I know this. He has no strange ideas about turning the world upside down.
Certainly, any new idea would be strange to you. Remember, the Lord said, let there be light.
Yes, but he was not speaking to you individually.
You have spirit. Even a little intelligence, perhaps.
Thank you.
But what good is your brain? Without curiosity, it is as a rusty tool. Good day, Huddle.
We have an old custom here. A boy acts respectfully towards a girl, but of course that is too traditional for an advanced thinker like you.
Of course, our traditions. Nothing must change. Everything is perfect exactly the way it is.
We like our ways.
Our ways are changing all over, but here, men and women must keep apart. Men study, women in the kitchen. Boys and girls must not touch. Should not even look at each other.
I'm looking at you.
You are very brave. Do you know that in the city, boys and girls can show affection without permission of a matchmaker? They hold hands together. They even dance new dances like this. Do you like it? I learned it in Kiev.
It's very nice. Oh.
There. We just changed an old custom.
Yes. You're welcome. Thank you. Good day.
Good day.
My. You, Bielka. Sprint, just tell me your name.
Huddle, Papa.
Where is Eitel?
She's in the barn.
Go call her out. Ah, Rep Perchik. How did today's lessons go?
I think we made a good beginning.
That's very good, very good.
Aha! So you're finally here! What happened last night, besides your drinking like a peasant? Did you see Laser Wolf? What did he say? Do you have news?
Patience, woman! As the good book says, good news will stay, and bad news will refuse to leave. And there's another saying that goes...
You can die from such a man!
Zeitel, my lamb, come here. You are to be congratulated. You're going to be married.
Married? What do you mean, Papa?
You know Laserwolf, the butcher? He's asked for your hand.
I knew it!
The butcher?
Oh, my heart told me this was our lucky day. Oh, dear God, I thank thee.
And what do you say, Zeitel?
What can she say? My firstborn, a bride. May you grow old together in fortune and honor. Not like that first wife of Trumasera. She was a bitter woman. May she rest in peace. But not my Zeitel. And now I must thank Yenta, my Zeitel. A bride.
Mazel tov, Zeitel. Mazel tov, Zeitel.
You call that a mazel tov? And you, Rep Perchik, aren't you going to congratulate her?
Congratulations, Zeitel. I'm getting a rich man.
Oh, again with the rich. What is so wrong with being rich?
It's no reason to marry. Money is the world's curse.
Well, may the Lord smite me with it, and may I never recover. Zeitel knows I only mean her welfare. Isn't that right, Zeitel?
Yes, Papa.
You see?
I see very well.
And you, my child, why are you so silent? Aren't you happy with this blessing?
Oh, Papa!
What is it?
I don't want to marry him! I can't marry him!
What do you mean you can't? If I say will, you will.
Papa, if it's a matter of money, I'll do anything. I'll hire myself out as a servant. I'll dig ditches, I'll haul rocks. Only don't make me marry him, Papa, please.
But what's so wrong with Laser Wolf? He's a good man. He likes you.
I will be unhappy with him. All my life will be unhappy. I'll dig ditches, I'll haul rocks.
But we made an agreement. And with us an agreement, well, it's an agreement.
Is that more important than I am, Papa? Papa, don't force me. I'll be unhappy all my days.
All right. I won't force you.
Oh, thank you, Papa.
Seems it was not ordained that you should have all the comforts of life, or that we should have a little happiness in our old age after all our years of hard work.
Reptilian, may I speak to you?
Later, Montel.
I would like to speak to you.
Not now, Montel. I have problems.
That's what I would like to speak to you about. I think I can help.
Certainly, like a bandage can help a corpse. Later, Montel.
Papa, at least listen to me.
All right, you have a tongue. Talk.
I hear you are arranging a match for Saito.
He also has ears.
I have a match for Saito.
You have a match for Zaito. What kind of a match?
A perfect fit.
Perfect fit.
Like a glove.
Like a glove.
This match was made exactly to measure.
Perfect fit. Stop talking like a tailor and tell me who it is.
Please don't shout at me, Reptilian.
Okay. I'm sorry. I won't shout at you. Who is it, Montel?
Who is it?
Montel, who is it?
Who is it?
Who is it, Montel?
It's me. Myself.
It's him? Himself? Either you're out of your mind or you must be crazy. Who do you think you are? Arrange a match for yourself. What are you? The matchmaker, the bridegroom? All the guests rolled into one? I suppose you'll even perform the ceremony. Must be out of your mind, Montel.
Please don't shout at me. As for being my own matchmaker, I know it's a little unusual.
A little unusual, it's crazy!
Times are changing, Reptavia. The thing is, your daughter Saito and I gave each other our pledge over a year ago that we would marry.
You gave each other a pledge?
Yes, Papa. We gave each other a pledge.
They gave each other a pledge, unheard of, absurd. You gave each other a pledge, unthinkable. Where do they think they are? In Moscow? In Paris? Where do you think you are? America? And what do you think you're doing? You're a stitcher? You're nothing? Who do you think you are? King Solomon? This isn't the way it's done. Not here, not now. Some things I will not, I cannot allow. Tradition. Marriages must be arranged by the Papa. This should never be changed. One little time we pull out the problem. Where does it stop? Where does it stop? Do I still have something to say about my daughter anymore? Or doesn't anyone have to ask the father?
I wanted to ask you for some time, Reptavia, but first I wanted to save up for my own soul.
Stop talking nonsense. You're just a poor tailor.
That's true, Reptavia, but even a poor tailor is entitled to some happiness. I promise you, Reptavia, your daughter will not starve.
He's beginning to talk like a man. Oh, but on the other hand, what kind of match would it be with a poor tailor? Well, on the other hand, he is an honest, hard worker. But on the other hand, he has absolutely nothing. But on the other hand, they things cannot get much worse for him. They can only get better. They gave each other a pledge, unheard of, absurd. He gave each other a pledge, unthinkable. Look in my daughter's face. She loves him. She wants him. Look in my daughter's eyes. So hopeful. Tradition! All right, children. When shall we make the wedding for?
Oh, thank you, Papa.
Reptilia, you won't be sorry.
I won't be sorry. I already am sorry.
Thank you, Papa.
Thank you, Papa.
Thank you, Papa. They pledged their troth. Oh, modern children. Oh, no. What am I going to do about Golda? What am I going to do about my wife? Help.
Michael, you were wonderful.
It was a miracle. It was a miracle. Wonder of wonders, miracle of miracles. God took a Daniel once again, stood by his side, and a miracle of miracles brought him through the lion's den. Wonder of wonders, miracle of miracles. I was afraid that God would frown, but like he did so long ago in Jericho, God just made a wall fall down. When Moses softened Pharaoh's heart, that was a miracle. When God made the waters of the Red Sea part, that was a miracle too. But of all God's miracles, large and small, the most miraculous one of all is that out of a worthless lump of clay, God has made a man today. Wonder of wonders, miracle of miracles. God took a tailor by the hand, turned him around, and miracle of miracles led him to the promised land. When David slew Goliath, yes, that was a miracle. When God gave us manna in the wilderness, that was a miracle too. But of all God's miracles, large and small, the most miraculous one of all is the one I thought could never be. God has given you to me.
Where is she? Where is she?
Where is who? Who are you
Ruma Sarah,
talking
Laser
about?
Wolf, Sir's right. She was right there just a second ago.
What's the matter with you? You must be dreaming. Miss Sarah's been dead for years. Tell me what you dreamt and I'll tell you what it meant.
It was terrible.
Tell me.
Okay. Only don't be frightened.
Tell me.
All right. This was my dream. In the beginning of my dream, I dreamt we were having a celebration of some kind. Everyone we knew was there, and musicians too. And in the middle of my dream, in walks your grandmother Zaito. May she rest in peace.
Grandmother Zaito? How did she look?
Well, for a woman who has been dead 30 years, she looked very good. So naturally, I went up to greet her. Well, she said to me,
A blessing on your head
Mazel tov, Mazel tov,
to see a daughter wed
Mazel tov, Mazel tov.
in such a son-in-law like no one ever saw. The tailor Mazel comes loyal.
Mazel?
A worthy boy is he,
Mazel tov, Mazel tov,
a pious family.
Mazel tov, Mazel tov.
They named him after my dear Uncle Mordecai. The tailor Mazel comes loyal.
Taylor? No, she must have heard wrong. She meant a butcher.
You must have heard wrong, Grandma. There's no tailor. You mean a butcher, Grandma, by the name of Laser Wolf?
No! I mean a tailor, Tevya, my great-grandchild. My little Zido, who you made for me, Mother's bride was meant to be. For such a match I prayed,
Mazel tov, Mazel tov,
in heaven it was made.
Mazel tov, Mazel tov.
A fine upstanding boy, a comfort and a joy. The tailor Mazel comes loyal.
We announced already. We made a bargain with the butcher.
But we announced it, Grandma, to our neighbors. We made a bargain, Grandma, with a butcher Laser Wolf.
No, no, no! So you announced it, Tevya, that's your headache. But as for Laser Wolf, I say to you, Tevya, that's your headache too.
On your house, Mazel tov, Mazel tov. Imagine such a spouse, Mazel tov, Mazel tov. And such a son-in-law, like no one ever saw. The tailor Mazel comes on.
It was a butcher.
The tailor Mazel comes on.
It was Laser Wolf. The tailor Mazel come.
Shout, shout.
What?
Who is this? Who is this? Super tailor. Who is this? Why aren't you sick or shaken?
Could it be?
Sure.
Yes, it could.
Why not? Who could be mistaken? Is the butcher's wife come from beyond the grave? Is the butcher's
Tevya! Tevya! What is this about your daughter marrying my husband? Would you do this to your friend and neighbor from Sarah? Have you no consideration for a woman's feelings? Handing over her belongings to a total stranger. How can you allow it? How can you let your daughter take my place, live in my house, carry my keys, hand her my gloves? Such a learned man as Tevya wouldn't let it happen. Tell me that it isn't true and then I wouldn't worry. Say you didn't give your blessing to your daughter's marriage. Let me tell you what would follow such a fatal wedding. If Sidon marries Laser Wolf, I pity them both. She'll live within 3 weeks, and when 3 weeks are up, I'll come to her by
your own world to tell us about the tailor? Oh, we know that's for the best and couldn't possibly be any better. Amen.
Amen.
A blessing on my head, mazel tov, mazel tov. My grandma's idol said, mazel tov, mazel tov. We'll have a son-in-law like no one ever saw. The tailor motto comes oil.
We haven't got the man
Mazel tov, mazel tov.
we had when we began.
Mazel tov, mazel tov.
But since your grandma came, she'll marry, what's his name?
The tailor motto comes oil.
Oh, yes. The Taylor Monto comes on. The Taylor Monto comes on. The Taylor Monto comes on. Thank you.
Have you heard? Heaviest Sidle is going to marry Model, not Laser.
No!
Yes,
Seidel's marrying Model?
yes.
No!
What's all the excitement? I know, Laser Wolf, the butcher.
No!
Model the tailor? That's terrible! Mazel tov, Model.
Imagine, Sidle marrying Model. I can't believe it.
What's wrong with my son, Model?
Oh, excuse me, Chantel. Mazel tov.
Usul, do you have a wedding hat for me?
Laser Wolf ordered one, but it sure isn't cheap.
I got his bride. I can get his hat.
Yes, you can, Model. Come, I'll show you.
Mother, could you watch the shop for a few minutes? I'll be back soon.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Mother.
Come, Model, come.
Oh, mazel tov, mazel tov.
Please may I pass?
But why? We're all congratulating you.
Oh, mazel tov, mazel tov.
All right, stop it.
What is wrong with you, Pietra?
Just stop it.
Now you listen here, Pietra.
Goodbye, Sasha. I said goodbye. I'm sorry about that. They meant no harm.
Don't they? Is there something you want?
Yes, I'd like to talk with you.
I'd rather not.
I've often noticed you at the booksellers. Not very many girls in the village like to read. Would you like to borrow this book? It's very good.
No, thank you.
Why? Because I'm not Jewish? Do you feel about us the same way they felt about you? I didn't think you would.
What do you know about me?
Let me tell you about myself. I'm a pleasant fellow. Charming. Honest. Ambitious. Quite bright and very modest.
I don't think we should be talking this way.
I often do things I shouldn't. Go ahead, take the book. It's by Heinrich Heine. Happens to be Jewish, I believe.
That doesn't matter.
You're quite right. Good. After you return it, I'll ask you how you like it. And we'll talk about it for a while. And then we'll talk about life. Now we feel about things. And it can alter now quite pleasant.
Oh, Dick. Can I do something for you?
No, thank you.
Oh, you forgot your book.
No, it's mine.
Oh, thank you.
Good day, Alba.
Good day.
Fiedke.
Good day, Fiedke.
Is this the little girl I carry? Is this the little boy at play?
I don't remember growing older. When did they?
When did she get to be a beauty? When did he get to be so tall?
Wasn't it yesterday when they were
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flood the day. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze.
sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years. One season following another, laden with happiness and tears.
What words of wisdom can I give them? How can I help to ease their way?
Now they must learn from one another.
My friends, we are gathered here to share in the joy of the newlyweds, Model and Seidel. May they live together to a ripe old age. Amen.
Amen.
And here comes our beloved Rabbi. May he be with us for many, many years.
Amen.
Amen.
I would like to announce that the bride's parents are gifting the newlyweds the following: a fine feather bed and this pair of goose pillows. Goose pillows, yes. And this pair of candlesticks. But let us not, in our joy tonight, forget those who are no longer with us. Our dear departed, who lived in pain, poverty, and hardship, and who died in pain, poverty, and hardship. But enough tears. Let us be happy and content, like our dear friend Laserwolf, who has everything in this world but a bride. Laser has no ill feelings. In fact, he has a gift that he would like to announce to the newlyweds himself. Come, Laserwolf!
What he said was true. I bear no ill feelings. What's done is done. In fact, I'll give the newlyweds 5 chickens, 1 for each of their 5 Sabbaths of their wedded lives.
Ah, Red Laser, you're a decent man. In the name of my daughter and her new husband, I accept your gift. There is a famous saying that goes something...
Red Tevye, I'm not marrying your daughter anymore. I don't have to listen to your sayings.
Yes, but if you would just listen, I was going to say...
Why would I listen to you? A man who breaks an agreement?
Red Laser, not now, in the middle of a wedding.
I have my right to talk.
What's right? This is not your wedding!
Well, it should have been!
Red Laser! Don't shame Red Tevye at his daughter's wedding!
Oh, but he shamed me! He shamed me in front of the whole village!
John, quiet, please! The Rabbi, say something.
I said, let's sit down.
We all heard the wise words of the Rabbi.
Let's sit down.
All right, and now I'd like to sing a little song.
And you can keep your disease check-in!
You leave my
The turf war's settled!
They drink on it! I saw them, they drink on it!
What's a butcher? Always a butcher!
I had a sign. My own grandmother came from the grave. What sign? What grandmother? Because my grandmother came to me from the grave and told me that her grandmother was a big, fat liar!
Quiet! What's all the shouting about? They made an agreement, a bargain, a sign. It's all nonsense! Saito wanted to marry Manto and not Lazar.
A woman decides for herself?
Yes, why not? They love each other.
Love!
Terrible!
He's a radical!
What happens to the matchmaker?
I say, we know. Let's sit down.
Musicians, play, a dance, let's dance. It's a wedding.
Somewhere.
Enjoy.
Someone stop him!
Hurt you.
Who will dance with me?
That's a sin!
It's no sin to dance at a wedding.
But with a girl? Look at Tevye's daughter, dancing with a madman!
He's not mad. Sure, his ideas are a little different,
It's
but...
a sin!
It's no sin. Ask the rabbi. Ask him.
Well, Rabbi,
Well, it's not exactly forbidden.
you say it's not forbidden.
And it's no sin either, no. Who will dance with me?
It's only a dance, Mama.
Go on. Play.
Look at Tevye's daughter!
She's dancing with a man!
I can see she's dancing. And you know what? I am going to dance with my wife. Golda.
bad time. I'm sorry, Tevye, but the orders are for tonight for the whole village. Go on, play. Play! All right, men.
Check. Oh! Stay back, stay back! Stay back! Go! Get away from there! Go! Go! All right, get up!
I'm genuinely sorry, Tevye. You understand?
Of course.
Come.
Somebody! Take him in the house!
Well, what you all sitting around for? Clean up, clean up! That was quite a dowry you gave my daughter Zeidel at her wedding. Was that really necessary? Anyway, Zeidel and Model have been married almost 2 months now. They work very hard. They are as poor as synagogue mice. But they're so happy, they don't understand how miserable they actually are. Model keeps talking about this new sewing machine. Now, I know you're a very busy god. Wars, revolutions, floods, plagues, all those little things that bring people closer to you. But could you take a second away from your catastrophes and get it for him? Really, how much trouble would it be? Oh, and while you're in the neighborhood, my horse's left leg. Am I bothering you too much? I'm sorry. As the good book says, wait, why do I need to tell you what the good book says?
Please don't be upset, Huddle.
Why should I be upset? If you must leave, you must.
I do have to. They expect me and Kiev tomorrow morning.
So you told me, then goodbye.
Great changes are about to take place in this country. Tremendous changes, but they can't happen by themselves.
So of course you feel that you have to go all the way to Kiev to go
Not
fight.
only me! Many people, Jews, Gentiles, many people hate what is going on. Don't you understand?
Yes, I understand. You want to leave? Then goodbye.
Huddle. Your father, the others here, think what happened at Seidel's wedding was a little cloudburst, and it's over, and everything will now be peaceful again. It won't. Horrible things are happening all over the land. Pogroms, violence, whole villages are being emptied of their people, and it's reaching everywhere, and it will reach here. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
I have work to do. The greatest work a man can do.
Then goodbye, Parchik.
Before I go, there is a certain question I wish to discuss with you.
Yes,
A political question.
what is it?
The question of marriage.
This is a political question?
In a theoretical sense, yes. The relationship between a man and a woman known as marriage is based on mutual beliefs, a common attitude and philosophy towards society,
And affection?
and affection. This relationship is positive social values. It reflects a unity and solidarity with society that,
And affection?
yes. And personally, I am in favor of it. Do you understand?
Yes, I think so. I think you're asking me to marry you.
In a theoretical sense. Yes, I am.
I was hoping you were.
Then I take it you accept? And we can consider ourselves engaged even though I am going away? I am happy, Hollow. Very happy.
Me too, Perchik. What's the matter?
I used to tell myself that I had everything, but that was only half true. I had an aim in life, and that was everything, but now I even have you. I have someone that I could die for, someone that I can live for too. Yes, now I have everything, not only everything, I have a little bit more. Besides having everything, I know what everything's for. I used to wonder, could there be a wife to share such a difficult, wandering kind of
I
life?
was only out of sight, waiting right here.
Who knows tomorrow where our home will be?
I'll be with you, and that's home enough for me.
Everything is right at hand, simple and clear. I have someone that I could die for, someone that I can live for too. Yes, now I have everything, not only everything, I have a little bit more. Besides having everything, I know what everything's for.
And when will we be married, Perchik?
I will send for you as soon as I can. It will be a hard life, Hollow.
Yes, but it'll be less hard if we live it together.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good evening, Reptevia. I have some bad news. I must leave this place.
When?
Right away.
I'm sorry to see you go, Perchik.
But I also have some good news.
Ah,
You can congratulate me.
Congratulations. What for?
We are engaged.
Engaged?
Yes, Papa, we are engaged.
No, you're not. Now I know you like him and he likes you, but you are going away, so have a nice trip, Perchik. I hope you'll be happy. But my answer is no.
Please, Papa, you don't understand.
No, I understand. I gave my permission to Matfu and Zaito, and so you two feel you also have a right. I'm sorry, Perchik. I've always thought very highly of you, but you are going away, so go in good health, and my answer is no.
Papa, you don't understand.
No, you're not listening. I said no. I'm sorry, Huddle, but we'll find someone else here.
Reptevia! We are not asking for your permission, only for your blessing. We are going to get married.
You are not asking for my permission?
But we would like your blessing, Papa.
I can't believe my own ears. My blessing for what? For going over my head? Impossible. At least with Seidel and Model, they ask me, they beg me. But now if I like it or not, she'll marry him. So what do you want from me? Go on, be wet. I'll tear out my beard and uncover my head. Tradition They're not even asking permission from the papa. This isn't the way it's done. One little time I pulled out a thread, and where has it led? Where has it led? A man tells me, not asking, that he is going to marry my daughter, but first he abandons her.
He is not abandoning me, Papa.
I will send for her as soon as I can. I love her.
He loves her. Love. It's a new style. But on the other hand, our old ways were once new, now weren't they? But on the other hand, they're deciding without parents, without a matchmaker. Well, on the other hand, did Adam and Eve have a matchmaker? Yes, they did. And so it seems these two have the same matchmaker. They're going over my head, unheard of, absurd. For this they want to be blessed, unthinkable. I'll lock her up in her room. Couldn't. I should. Look in my daughter's eyes. She loves him. Tradition! All right, children. You have my blessing and my permission.
Thank you, Papa. You don't know how happy this makes me.
Thank you, Papa.
Thank you, Papa. But what am I going to tell your mother? Another dream?
Perhaps if you tell her I'm going to visit a rich uncle, something like
Please,
that.
Perchik. I can handle my own life. Golda! Golda! Hello, Golda. So I've been talking with Perchik and Hani.
Well,
Well, it seems they have become very fond of each other.
well,
Well, I have decided to give them my permission to become engaged.
What?
Now,
just like this, not even asking me?
well, who asks you? I am the father.
Who is he? He's a pauper. He has nothing, absolutely nothing.
Well, now I wouldn't say that. You know, I hear he has a rich uncle. A very rich uncle. He's a good man, Golda. I like him. Sure, he's a little crazy, but I like him. And what's more important, Huddle likes him. Huddle loves him. So what can we do? It's a new world, Golda. Love, Golda. Do you love me?
Do I what?
Do you love me?
Do I love you?
Well,
With our daughters getting married and there's trouble in the town, you're upset, you're worn out, go inside, go lie down. Maybe it's indigestion.
Golda, I'm asking you a question. Do you love me?
You're a fool.
I know. But do you love me?
Do I love you?
Well,
For 25 years I've washed your clothes, cooked your meals, cleaned your house, given you children, milked the cow. After 25 years, why talk about love right now?
Golda, the first time I met you was on our wedding day. I was scared,
I was shy,
I was nervous.
so was I.
But my father and my mother said we'd learn to love each other. And now I'm asking, Golda, do you love me?
I'm your wife.
I know. But do you love me?
Do I love him?
Well,
For 25 years I've lived with him. For
Sidle, darling, guess who I just saw your sister Hava with? That Fietka. And it's not the first time I've seen them together.
You saw Hava with Fietka?
Would I make it up? Oh, and Sidle, darling, I just happened to be at the post office today, and the postman told me there was a letter there for your sister Huddle.
Wonderful, I'll go get it.
I got it! It's from her intended, Perchik.
Otto will be so happy. She's been waiting. But it's open.
It happened to be open. Rivka! Oh, I have such news for you. Remember Perchik, that crazy student? Remember at the wedding? When Simon married Mardo, and Perchik started dancing with Tevye's daughter, Huddle. Well, I just learned that Perchik's been arrested in Kiev.
No!
Yes!
Oh, Shando, honey, girlfriend. Wait till I tell you this. Oh, man.
Remember Perchik, that crazy student? Remember at the wedding? He danced with Tevye's daughter. Well, I just learned that Huddle's been arrested in Kiev.
No! Terrible, terrible.
Do you remember Perchik, that student from Kiev? Remember how we acted when Seidel married Martel? Well, I just heard that Martel's been arrested for dancing at the wedding. In Kiev! Oh.
Rabbi! Remember Perchik with all his strange ideas. Remember Zeidel's wedding, where Tevye danced with Golda. Well, I just heard that Tevye's been arrested and Golda's gone to Kiev. God forbid!
She did!
She did!
Everybody, terrible news, terrible! Remember Perchik, who started all the trouble? Well, I just heard from someone who should know. That Golda's been arrested, and Huddle's gone to Kiev. Martel studies dancing, and Tevye is acting strange. Srutza has the measles, Ilka has the mumps.
And that's what comes from men and women dancing! You don't have to wait for the train, Papa. You'll be late for your customers.
Just a few more minutes. Is he in bad trouble, this hero of yours? Arrested? Convicted?
Yes, but he did nothing wrong. He cares nothing for himself.
Yes, but if he did nothing wrong, he wouldn't be in trouble, now would he?
Papa, how can you say that? What wrongs did Joseph do? And Abraham and Moses? And they all had troubles.
Why won't you tell me where he is, this Joseph of yours?
It's far, Papa. Terribly far.
Tell me.
He's in a settlement in Siberia.
Siberia? And he asked you to leave your mother and your father and go to him there and marry him there in that frozen wasteland?
He did not ask me to go. I want to go. I don't want him to be alone. I want to assist him in his work. It is the greatest work a man can do.
Huddle, baby.
Papa. How can I hope to make you understand why I do what I do? Why I must travel to a distant land, far from the home I love. Once I was happily content to be choice this is. Wanting home, wanting him, closing my heart to every hope but his, leaving the home I love. There where my heart has settled long ago, I must go, I must go. Who could imagine I'd be wandering so far from the home I love? Yet there with my love, I'm home.
You will be there for the wedding. And you were out there in the wilderness.
Papa, I promise you, we will be married under a canopy.
Certainly. I'm sure a few rabbis have been arrested.
Papa, God alone knows when we shall see each other again.
I guess we'll leave it in his hands. Goodbye, Papa.
Goodbye, Papa.
Give him my regards, this Moses of yours. Tell him I rely on his honor to take care of you. Tell him that. Take care of her. See that she dresses warm.
Did you hear the news? A new arrival in Xylem Models.
A new arrival in modeling items. I must congratulate.
Rabbi, did you hear the news? A new arrival in Xylem Models.
Really? Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
My boy Models is a new arrival.
Mazel tov, Seidel.
You got it.
I got it.
It's beautiful.
I know.
Have you tried it yet?
Look,
Beautiful.
I know. And in less than a minute, I can see how close and even the stitches are.
Beautiful.
I know. From now on, all my clothes will be perfect. Made by machine. No more handmade clothes.
The rabbi!
Look, Rabbi, my new sewing machine.
Mazel tov!
Is there a blessing for a sewing machine, Rabbi?
There's a blessing for everything. Amen.
Amen.
And the baby? How's the baby?
He's wonderful, Mom.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I came to measure.
It's ready.
Look, it's our new sewing machine.
I see. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good day.
Good day.
How does it work?
See, it's an amazing thing. You work it with the foot and the head.
I will, but I'm afraid.
Pava, let me talk to your father.
No, that would be the worst thing, I'm sure of it.
But let me try.
I'll talk to him. I promise.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good day.
Good day. What were you and he talking about?
Nothing. We were just talking. Papa, Fiatka and I have known each other for a long time
Papa,
now.
I would be much happier if you two would remain friends from a distance. You must not forget who you are and who that man is.
He has a name, Papa.
Certainly, all creatures on earth have a name.
Fiatka is not a creature, Papa. Fiatka is a man.
Well, who says he isn't? He's just a different kind of man. As the good book says, each shall seek his own kind, which translated means a bird may love a fish, but where they make a home together.
The world is changing,
No,
Papa.
no, Papa. Some things for us will never change. Some things cannot change.
We don't feel that way.
We?
Fiatka and I. We want to be married.
Married? Do you know what this means, marrying outside of the faith?
But Papa!
No, Papa! No. Never speak about this again. Never mention his name again. Never talk to him again. Do you understand?
Yes, Papa. I understand you.
Papa.
You're finally here. Let's go home. It's time for supper.
I want to see Malta's new machine.
It's late. See you
Quiet,
later.
woman, before I get angry. And when I get angry, even the flies don't dare to fly.
I'm very frightened of you. And after you finish supper, I'll faint. Come home.
Golda, I am the man of the family. I am the head of the house. And I want to see Malta's new sewing machine now. Now let's go home. How long can this miserable horse of mine complain about his leg? Now I know I complain too much about my horse. After all, he is one of your creatures. He has the same rights that I do. The right to be sick, the right to be hungry, the right to work like a horse. Dear God, I am sick and tired of pulling this cart. I know. I should try pushing it a while.
Tevye! Tevye!
What
Tevye!
is it? What is it?
It's Papa. She left home this morning with Fiatka.
She what?
I don't know. I looked everywhere for her, and I even went to the priest, and he told me they were married.
Married? Go home, Golda. We have other children at home. Go home. You have work to do. I have work to do. Go home.
But Papa!
Papa is dead to us! We'll forget her. Go home. Little bird, little marveler, I don't understand what's happening today. Everything is all a blur. All I can see is a happy child, what a sweet little bird you would have a love. little marvelous. You were always such a pretty little thing, everybody's favorite child. Gentle and kind and affectionate, what a sweet little bird you were, marvelous, marvelous.
Papa, I want to talk to you. Papa, stop! At least listen to me. Papa, I beg you to accept us.
Accept them? How can I accept them? How can I deny everything I believe in? On the other hand, how can I deny my own daughter? On the other hand, how can I turn my back on my faith, on my people? I tried to bend that far. I will break. On the other hand, no, this time there is no other hand. No, Hava, no, no!
I've got the boys, 2 boys I told you about. Oh, Golda, here they are. Wonderful boys. Golda, both learned boys from good families. Each of them a prize, a jewel. You couldn't do better for your girls. Just right, from the top of the tree.
I don't know yet, Ted. My girls are still so young.
So what do they look like, grandfathers? Meanwhile, they'll be engaged, nothing to worry about later, no looking around, their future all signed and sealed.
Which one for which one?
What's the difference? Take your pick.
Golda, is Reb Tevye home?
Yeah, but he's in the house. What's the problem?
Call your father.
Go home. Tell your parents I'll talk to you.
What's the matter with you? Why are you all gathered around like a bunch of goats?
Tevye, have you seen the constable today?
No, why?
Well, there's some rumors in town. We thought since you know him so well, you'd tell us if they were true or not.
What rumors?
Someone from Zolid told me that there's an edict issued in Petrograd. And that, shh.
Welcome, Your Honor. What's the good news in the world?
I see you have company.
These are my friends.
It's just as well. What they have to say is for their ears also. Tevye,
How long do you need to sell your house and all of your household goods?
Why do I need to sell my house? Is it in anybody's way?
I came here tonight to tell you that you're going to have to leave Antepka.
And how did I come to deserve such an honor?
Not only you, but all of you! At first, I thought you might be spared, Tevye, because of your daughter Hava, who married...
My daughter is dead.
I understand. At any rate, it affects all of you. You're going to have to leave.
But this corner of the world has always been our home. Why should we leave?
I don't know why. There's trouble in the world. Troublemakers.
Like us?
You aren't the only ones. Your people must leave all of the villages. Zolodin, Rablevka, the whole district must be emptied.
The whole district?
I have an order here that says you must sell your homes and be out of here in 3 days.
3 days? And you who have known us all our lives, you would carry out this order?
I have nothing to do with it. Don't you understand?
We understand.
So what if we refuse to go?
You'll be forced out.
Well, we'll defend ourselves.
Yeah, we'll fight.
Against our armies. I wouldn't advise it.
And I have some advice for you, Your Honor. Get off my land. This is still my home. This is still my land. Get off my land.
You have 3 days.
After a lifetime of peace, a piece of paper and get thee out.
Maybe we should get together with the people of Zolin. Maybe they'll have a plan.
Yeah, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
Perfect. And that way the whole world will be blind and toothless.
Rabbi, we've been waiting all our lives for the Messiah. Wouldn't now be a good time for him to come?
We'll have to wait for him somewhere else. Until then, we should start packing.
He's right. I'll see you all before I go.
3 days.
I have more than 100 bottles of vodka. What am I supposed to do?
Where am I supposed to go with a wife, her parents, and 3 children?
Well, Anathevka hasn't exactly been the god of Eden.
That's true.
After all, what have we got here? A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A pot.
A pan. A broom. A hat.
Someone should have set a match to this place long ago.
A bench. A tree.
So what's a stove?
Or a house. People come to Anatevka. I don't even know they've been here.
A stick of wood. Piece of cloth.
What do we leave? Nothing much, only Anatevka. Oh
Our forefathers have been forced to leave many, many places at a moment's notice.
It seems to me maybe that's why we always wear our hats.
Where will we live in America?
With Uncle Abram. But he doesn't know yet.
I wish you and the baby were coming with us.
We'll be staying in Warsaw until we have enough money to come and join you.
Motto, be very careful with these. My mother and father, may they rest in peace, gave them to us on our wedding day.
Come, children, help me pack the rest of the things.
Golden darling. Oh, I just had to see you before I left. Because I have such news for you.
What is it?
Golden darling. You remember I told you yesterday, I didn't know where to go, what to do with these old bones? Now I know. You want to hear? Yeah, I'll tell you. Golden darling. All my life, I have dreamed of going to one place, and now I'll walk, I'll crawl, I'll get there. Guess where? You'll never guess. Every year at Passover, what do we say? Next year in Jerusalem. Next year in the Holy Land.
You're going to the Holy Land?
You guessed! And do you know why? Last night, in my sleep, my husband, my Aaron, came to me and said, Yenta, go to the Holy Land. Usually, of course, I wouldn't listen to him. Because, good as he was, too much brains he wasn't blessed with. But in my sleep, it's a sign, right? So, somehow or other, I'll get to the Holy Land. Do you want to know what I'll do there?
What?
I'm a matchmaker. No. I'll arrange marriages. Yes? So, I'm going to the Holy Land to help our people increase and multiply. It's my mission. So, goodbye, Golda.
Goodbye, Yenta. Be well and go in peace.
Maybe next time, Golda, we will meet on happier occasions. Meanwhile, we suffer in silence. Right? Of course, right?
Golda, we must hurry. Golda, we have to leave soon.
Leave. It sounds so easy.
We'll all be together soon. Montel, Zeitel, the baby, they'll come too. We'll see.
And Hodel and Pertwig, when will we ever see them?
Do they come to visit us from Siberia every Sabbath? You know what she writes. He sits in jail, she works, and soon he'll be free. They will turn the world upside down. She couldn't be happier. And the other children will be with us.
Not all.
All. Golden, we have to leave soon.
I still have to sweep the floor.
Sweep the floor?
I don't want to leave a dirty house.
Well, Tevye, I'm off.
Where are you off to, Laser Wolf?
To Chicago. Frumacer, may she rest in peace. She has a brother there.
That's nice.
I hate him. A lot. But a relative is a relative.
Of course.
Goodbye, Tevye.
Goodbye, Laser Wolf.
I still don't forgive you.
Zeitel, are they finished inside?
Almost, Papa. Papa will see you.
Papa, we came to say goodbye. We are also leaving this place. We are going to Krakow.
We cannot stay among people who can do such things to others.
We wanted you to know that. Goodbye, Papa. Mama.
Yes, we are also moving. Some are driven away by edicts. Others by silence. Come, Hava.
Goodbye, Hava. Pietka.
God be with you.
God be with you. We will write to you in America if you like. We'll be staying with Uncle Abram. Yes, Mama.
We'll be staying with Uncle Abram. We'll be staying with Uncle Abram. Does the world have to know our business?
Stop yelling and finish packing. We have a train to catch.
Gold, I don't need your advice. Zeitel, don't forget the baby. We must hurry. We have a train and a boat to catch. Golda, Bielka, Sprinter, put the bundles on the wagon.
Goodbye, Papa. Goodbye, Mama.
Goodbye, Mom.
Work hard, Walter. Come to us soon.
I will, Reptile. I'll work hard.
Golda, we can leave these pots.
No, we can't.
All right, fine. We'll take them.
We're going on a train and a boat.
Stop that! Behave yourselves. We're not in America yet.
Come, children.